Should we be afraid for the AI development? In this video, I want to talk about a subject that we can no longer deny, obviously, and that's the development of artificial intelligence. And there are a few people who are saying, well, we have to embrace it. Some might think it's very, very dangerous. And in this video, I would like to explain something and also discuss a star race who is really maybe like a blueprint for the artificial intelligence. Hello and welcome to another video. My name is Aisha, I'm an Akashic Records reader and also a guide for Starseeds on their divine path who are light workers. And in this video I would like to talk about, well, a topic maybe as a light worker and a Starseed you are very interested in. Because obviously we came from the stars and that makes you by default interested in what happens in the stars. And that might be a little bit on the contrary what an earth angel might think, because an earth angel is very interested in the global themes that concern Mother Gaia, Sophia Gaia, our beloved planet where we all were born, right? Because we are starseeds, but we are not aliens. We have this human body with this human needs and emotions and what have you. And there are so many starseeds, star races out there, I can't even describe them. As to, I think approximately 500,000 different star races are out there. And of course we all know this really common picture of this alien, right? This little emotionless humanoid-like alien with big black eyes and a pale skin and almost no lips and things like that. This typical alien picture of what we perceive as being alien. Well, that's actually a race from the Zeta Reticuli, I have to say it correctly, Zeta Reticuli star system. It's a binary star system and they are indeed human-like. However, they are really far off the other spectrum of being a human. And I would like to explain what I mean by that. This race is almost like a bee in a hive. It's almost like, 7 of 11 from Star Trek. She is this part human, part robot-like woman. And she was, I forgot the name. It's like a square. And it's really like they are one collective. They are no longer individuals. They don't have any sympathy and they conquer a lot of star races in the stars. Maybe I come up with the name later on in this video. However, this race that I'm talking about, they are also like that. They don't have any empathy, they don't have any feelings, they don't have any emotions, and they rather function on functionality instead of human interaction. And they also are not capable anymore of producing themselves. So they are clones actually, which make them, and I'm talking about like eons and eons of history, I'm talking about in development. So it's not like from one day and the next day there are like alien races. No, they have been like that for eons and eons of time. And they know they are at the end of their evolution because they can no longer sustain themselves because they cannot produce themselves anymore. So they have been searching for ways to stop this and to innovate and to have new ways of how they can save themselves actually, because there's one common theme that all species have, and they want to continue their species. They don't want to extend themselves. I mean, you see this with animals, and in the end everyone wants to survive. To thrive, that's another issue, but to survive, we all want that. So this species want this as well. And they have been searching for ways to develop themselves, because they're all about efficiency, they're all about functionality, they're all about the global, the global theme of the club, Of course, when you can no longer produce yourself, you must find ways to continue your species, to continue your race. And that's why they have been abducting people. They have been testing on people. They have been, they've been known for the interaction with people, which is not friendly. Um, they are not aggressive in the way that they would slaughter people or that they would do very openly horrible things to people, but they, actually they do, because they, um, you know, so they would come for certain people because they are searching for certain DNA. And then they would do tests, and they, basically want to find ways in which they can continue their race. Well, I think you know by now the name of the race that I'm talking about. And of course, I'm talking about the Greys, because their skin is like sort of pale, and they, um, you know, they have this really like non-human, non-emotional look as well. So why am I talking about the Greys? Because this is the race I'm talking about, and artificial intelligence. Well, if you think where we are as a species, as a collective mind, then upgrading ourselves is very important. And staying away from our natural being seems almost the way to go. So we don't want to have hair on our body, we want to have makeup on, we want to improve our body parts, grow in hair, have all sorts of plastic surgical corrections and things like that. I mean, being natural is almost not done. And if you look at successful people, and everyone, also me included, because I'm wearing makeup, right? I'm using deodorant, I'm putting cream on my body, and things like that. It's really artificial, and it's really not natural to do. So I see everything that's not natural as a way of dehumanizing, in fact, because it's putting us away from our true selves. And of course, nobody wants to smell, so we use deodorant, right? But what is the tipping point of becoming something else than a human? And this is exactly the choices that the Greys have made far, far away, far back. They made choices not to be human anymore, because our race, the Homo sapiens sapiens, is not only here on Earth. There are also our, well, cousins, brothers, sisters out there in the stars. And of course, they look differently, because here on Earth we have a different atmosphere, we have different oxygen levels, and of course, we can debate on whether we can survive on non-oxygen environments. But there are also different dimensions which need different aspects to survive, right? So these Greys, they took decisions that brought them farther and farther back from their true blueprint. They don't have a true blueprint anymore. That's why they can reproduce themselves. So what happens if you would connect to artificial intelligence? I saw a guy the other day. He was the first human. He's got this scarf on the back, on the side of his head, because he was connected with some sort of device of what's his name again? This Mars guy. I'm a little bit. I can't remember a lot of things. You know what I'm talking about. And this guy, is he still human? Well, if you would think and go ahead and think of the development, what else is coming up? I mean, he is connected to a computer. He is connected to the devices of Elon Musk. And what's the next step, right? And it's also a little part of dehumanizing. And in the end, what will happen? What will be still human? And also with emotions, because we are really taught in life that it's better to hush your emotions. Don't, especially when you are angry, don't do it in public. You can't cry. I mean, of course, there are softer elements in the society, but we learn that it's better to lower your emotions, to not show your emotions that much. It's not considered to be very welcoming. Well, having emotions is one of the elements that makes us human, right? And emotions are not bad, because I think if you have emotions, you will make decisions based on that emotion, and it's not all about efficiency. It's also about creativity. And I think that if you allow your emotions to be there and listen to them, not let you take over by emotions, of course that's the other side. But if you are letting yourself guided by emotions, that it can really be the good basis of creativity in your life. So you can maybe have a solution from the heart, you know. And if we shut off emotions, we also shut off positive emotions. And that's why the Greys are considered to be really emotionless, to have no empathy. Even when they are doing tests on humans, they don't seem to bother by emotions. And that's very weird. I mean, that's not human-like, right? So maybe you can see it as like an exaggeration, but I really think that the AI movement can also give us some direction where the Greys went to. And I don't think we want that. So it's always good to have a balance in, okay, what is still my human part and how can we embrace being human? And I also recognize this is very, very challenging for people like light workers who came from the stars, because this planet was not originally ours. We came to assist. And a lot of us feel homesick for a place we can't even name. So, if you would like to know if you came from the stars and what mission you have, then I would recommend you have an Akashic Records reading done, because then we open your book of life and we see where you came from. And also, not even that, but what now? What can you do with this information and how can you implement it in your everyday life? So being human is very honorable and very, we can embrace it with open arms. Thank you so much, and I would really appreciate if you would subscribe to my channel, and see you next time.